Hello and welcome to BLD Father. This is Philip, the interviewer and the cameraman.
Hi there, I'm Carsten, the father. And today we're going to do spring rolls. And we thought we could do those for a dinner or an early lunch. So I wouldn't recommend it for breakfast, but dinner and lunch definitely.
So take us through the ingredients.
Okay, so we will need some minced pork. This is about 250 grams.
About how much?
250 grams, as I said. I would suggest using the same amount prawns to meat. So again, 250 grams. We will need some ginger, possibly that much, not a whole lot. We'll use one large shallot, at least 1.5 carrots, a little bit of garlic, a few of the nice spring onions, so 4, and then some salt and pepper. I've already rehydrated some of the black ear mushrooms. They can sort of come in a box like these black fungi. You just put them in boiling hot water, and they sort of grow like this. Yeah. And then something you probably wouldn't think. A little bit of rice noodles. Then we need some sesame seed oil and some fish sauce, a little bit of pepper, which is this, and then some oil for cooking. And the whole thing we're going to wrap in these rice paper noodles, and we'll show you how to use those in a minute. Cool! Shall we get going?
Yes.
Right.
Hello.
Right.
This is the equipment used for making the spring rolls.
Good kitchen knife, a mandolin with sort of long, thin wavers, and a few pots. So first I'm going to put the minced pork in here, and now I'm going to start chopping everything up. So I don't think you necessarily need to see or to watch me chop. So I'll start and we'll do a couple of images of how the things go into the pot.
Okay, so show us how thick something can be.
So
Just to show.
I chop these in little bits. Yeah, about this big. So I've chopped up all the prawns now, and I'll show you a really good way to peel some ginger, so don't lose all the stuff. You take just a normal spoon, and you can just scrape down the skin. Do you see how it comes off?
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, and there's literally no waste whatsoever. This way. Look. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grate this rather than chop it so it's finer. Otherwise, you don't like these big lumps, do you?
No.
They're a bit spicy for you, aren't they? So if you like them spicy, leave them big. If you like ginger a lot. But I like to grate them. And then they integrate really nicely into the mixture then. Look, and pretty much all peeled and ready to go.
So at the beginning, how long does this take around?
Preparation?
Yeah.
Well, depends a little bit how quick you are and how focused. Let's talk about 5 minutes to chop up. These I'm just going to use the mandolin, so not very long. And the onions, it really depends how comfortable you are with knives and so on. So I always keep a little plate where I put all my leftovers. Yeah. So that's a nice piece of ginger. That might actually be enough. We might not even use all of that. And so I'm going to just put all of the prawns now into our little pot here. Yeah. Whoop. And obviously, because we're using one board, we need to make sure that afterwards we make everything nice and clean so we don't get an upset stomach or anything. So these I just cut in half and then slice them relatively finely, trying not to cut myself, and stop before you get to the end. Same thing here in the middle. I always put my little knuckle and I slide down here so my fingertips are really hidden away so I don't cut myself. And if there are a few that are a bit thicker, so be it. Home cooking after all. Ginger, for the garlic I heard a really good trick. I'll show you. If you take them apart, yeah, and you cut off the thick bit here, yeah. You stick your knife on it, crack it, both sides a little, yeah. If you then just take that end, comes out absolutely clean, look. So do the same thing here. You cut off that bit, yeah, just a little, knife on, and then clean, done. And then you can just cut those up really fine. If you want to, you can also use a blender or a microplaner.
How did you get so quick at cutting?
I've been doing this for so many years for my family and friends and everybody. Look, there we go. Yeah.
Is this one of your favorite foods?
No, but it's one of your favorite foods, I think. So what I'm going to do here, this is coriander. I'm going to make a really, really, really tight little parcel. Just pushing this all together, yeah? Really tight parcel. And then I'm going to chop this. Be careful with your finger. Anything that slips out, just bring it back in. Stalks and all, yeah? And keep on chopping. Yeah, bring them in.
The coriander is a very strong smell, that's for sure.
Yeah, some people apparently, when they eat it, think it tastes like soap. And if that happens, they've got more taste buds in their mouth. So, it actually shows that you taste more. Look, that's about as fine as we need it. All good?
Yep.
Pretty much. Right. Stop. Now for the ginger, we just use one of those graters. Be careful, because they take your knuckle off if you don't pay attention.
That ever happened to you?
More than once, unfortunately. But you see how it comes through? That was close. Don't want to have blood in the scene, because then we have to start all over again.
No, we just have to start that section.
Yeah, but we've got blood in the food, which we don't want. That wouldn't be good, would it?
No.
No.
Tastes like metal.
Okay. Top tip, don't be greedy, just bin the rest. And then I take the spoon and just take this all out and do this, and that's my ginger, right? And now, here come the carrots. So I don't hold them straight because then they get quite short. But if you hold them at an angle, this becomes quite long and they become nice, not too short. Look. Actually, I think we'll be using all of the carrot. Just be careful with your hands. And again, better stop early than be sorry. Yeah, we'll use. You know what? Otherwise we got a little bit of carrot left, which would be a shame. So, that's it.
So now it's time for the mushroom.
Yeah, I'll just put everything in the pot here, so it's out of our way a little bit. All of that goes in there. Yeah.
How many spring rolls will these make?
Yeah. We'll have to see, I would say 15 to 20 maybe. So that's quite a decent portion, because you don't eat the spring rolls by themselves. You can wrap them into salad and have some herbs, and that's really nice too. So here are these mushrooms, yeah? And they look a bit weird, don't they?
Yeah, it looks like a bit like a skull.
Skull. Okay. Well, we'll have skull mushrooms then in our spring rolls. Okay. So again, these we just want to have them chopped up relatively finely. The finer, the better. So what we just did is, unfortunately, we didn't record. So we took rice vermicelli noodles and literally just cut them with a pair of scissors, kitchen scissors. Yeah. Some recipes suggest you should hydrate them first, so put them in boiling water. But I actually find there's enough moisture in it, and we're going to put at least an egg in. If it's too dry, we put 2 eggs in. Depends a little bit how big they are as well. This sucks a lot of the moisture out of the mixture and makes it nice and firm. So when you cook it, it doesn't become a slobber.
Yeah.
And they become nice and firm. So
Yeah,
it works really
online
well.
you can find that don't cook Vietnamese spring rolls, they explode your kitchen. Is that why?
Yeah, so we don't want to have an exploding kitchen. Absolutely not. So I'm going to start mixing this, and then we'll come back.
Okay, see you. So we're back after a quick mixing break.
Yeah. So this is actually quite moist, but you'll see that the glass noodles will absorb, because they're still quite crunchy. If I let it sit for a little while, they'll absorb quite a lot of the moisture, and it'll become quite a lot drier, which is exactly what we want. Now I'm just going to add a little bit of fish sauce, sort of 4 or 5 spritz, a little bit of the sesame seed oil, and a little bit of pepper. Pepper is really to taste. Some people like more, others like less. I like about a teaspoonful, I would say. All right, let's go for it.
Action.
So we've tidied up the kitchen a little bit and allowed the mixture to sort of soak the moisture up a little bit. We added the pepper, a little bit of the sesame seed oil, and the fish sauce. Actually, the fish sauce is the salt, because it's quite salty if you try. Have you tried it before?
Yeah.
Tastes a bit weird and very salty normally. But once it's in the dish, it's delicious.
Or just remember to let the glass noodles soak up for about 15 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. So what I'm now going to do, because once we start wrapping these little spring rolls, they are super sticky. So that they don't get stuck on the tray, I'm just going to use a little bit of cling film and put it over my cutting board. Just like that. And I'm going to set the spring rolls on there once I've rolled them. Yeah? And hopefully that will help us not to get stuck with the spring rolls. Now, for the wrappers, to soften them up, I'm going to put a little bit of water in here and some sugar.
Go.
So in a deep plate, I'm going to use about a tablespoon of sugar. Just put it in there, let it dissolve. What that does, once you deep fry it, the sugar caramelizes and makes it even crunchier and gives it a good brown color, the spring rolls. Another good tip that I found, if you want to use or make these spring rolls for a party, I cook them twice. I cook them the first time, so it's 2/3 done. Take them out, let them rest, and then just before the party I reheat them again and they become super crispy that way. And then you can cut them in half, serve them in a little lettuce leaf, and add some of the herbs. Okay?
Yeah.
Let's get going.
So for just a household usage, should you cook it once or still twice?
If you eat them immediately, you don't have to cook them twice, but you can. It's still, because you're not going to eat one spring roll after the other, you probably want to have a few. Right, so these are the leaves, and there's a shiny side, and there's a rougher side. I like to use the rougher side up. So your filling sits in the rougher side, not in the smooth side, yeah? But it's not, I don't think it's super critical. So I normally just turn them in there once, let the water set off, and at the beginning, these are quite firm. But you'll see that they loosen up quite quickly. So 1 good tablespoonful in the bottom corner. I washed my hands, obviously, yeah? Don't start telling me off, I've just washed them. Yeah. And I create a little sausage just like that. Then I fold over the sides to the middle, push the end bit forward, tuck everything in, and roll, 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 roll. And here we go.
And that is 1 spring roll.
Yeah. If you find that it is still hard to roll, yeah, if I open this up again, if you give it a little bit more time, it will start getting softer. But don't leave it too long, because if it gets too soft, it gets stuck on the plate, on the table.
Okay.
Yeah, spring roll
So that
one.
we don't bore you,
I'll do one more. Huh? Shall we do one more?
Yeah.
So, rough side, smooth side. You hear the difference, yeah? So rough side up again. Turn it, turn it, turn it.
So after this one, we will roll, wrap, and then cook the first batch. Then we'll show you the end result.
And we've done a little conveyor belt before, haven't we?
Yeah.
And that conveyor belt was, you were doing the getting the sheets wet, and I was doing the rolling. That worked really good. That was good fun, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Enjoyed that.
Mm-hmm.
But what's super important when we do that? First, definitely wash your hands. And then second, do not ever touch your mouth when you do it, because there's raw prawns in there, raw pork, and we don't want to have that in our mouth because you could get a bellyache. Okay?
Yeah.
Cool.
So just before we put them in, we will show you how hot you put it and how long.
So, one more. Make a little sausage. Look, this is a little softer now. Goes easier. Fold it in. Move everything in. Tuck in the sides and then just roll, 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 roll. And there we go. A spring roll.
So we will check.
Make sure they don't touch, because if they touch, they'll stick.
We will check back in with you when we're just about to put the first batch into the pan.
So in true home cooking fashion, we've managed to do 16 spring rolls, all in slightly different shapes and forms, and some are a bit thicker than others. That's perfectly fine. But what I did, I left them out a little bit to dry off. So now they're quite firm, and they don't unpeel anymore. So if you see here is the end of that rice paper, and it doesn't open up. Yeah, and that's quite important. We put oil in, and it's about 160, 170 degrees. So I'm going to turn it down a little bit. And now we're going to put one of those spring rolls in. And what we need to make sure is that when we put them in, they don't really touch. Otherwise, they're going to stick together. I'm going to take this out. Don't need that anymore. Put it to the side. And let's not overcrowd them. Chopsticks, good chopstick friends that we can use to move the string rolls around a little bit. Maybe one more. Oops. Once they've browned, actually I'm going to leave that out. Once they've browned a little bit, they don't stick anymore. But do make sure you turn them over.
So we will come back to you when we have all the dough used and everything ready. All the rice paper and the filling, or
all of that is done. I've used all of it.
Yeah, so all the filling is used. We will come back to you and show you how the end result looks like. Action.
So, now we've got them all done. They look absolutely delicious. I'm going to tell you guys, and I'm not going to make it because we're not too keen on the spiciness, but if you want to do a sauce with it, it's fish sauce, and some water, a little bit of vinegar, sugar, and then chilies, and you mix that up, and you can add a little bit of lime, and that's really, really yummy to dip in. But yeah, our household here is not too keen on the spiciness, so we end up using soya sauce normally, but it's nice anyways. You wanted to say something?
So should we show them the actual spring rolls?
Yeah, go ahead.
So these are them ready. They're obviously all multiple shapes, sizes, colors, but they all taste basically the same.
And I'll cut one so you see what it looks like inside. There you go.
That looks delicious.
Cool.
So remember to like, subscribe, and drop a comment down below.
Thank you.
Bye.
So how I like to do it, I take a salad leaf, yeah. I take, let's see, just cut spring roll, wrap it in there, 1 and 2. Then I put a little bit of Thai basil on there, and a little bit of mint, just a few leaves. Oops. If you like it spicy, and then you wrap it up and go for it.
Go for it, Daddy.
1, 2, and go. So good.
Right, so that is Vietnamese spring rolls.
Exactly, and they're super yummy. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Goodbye.